June 15, 2019. A quiet afternoon in Georgia. A 5-year-old girl sits alone in the back seat of a car, waiting for someone to come back. Minutes turn into hours. The sun beats down. The air inside thickens. 90 degrees. 100, climbing higher. No one hears her cries. No one opens the door. Until, by the time help arrived, it was already too late. At first, it seemed like a tragic accident. But when investigators started asking questions, the story didn't add up. Because the truth was something much darker. What really happened to Mia McGinnis? And why were the people closest to her the very ones keeping the truth buried? In the heart of Georgia, in a small town where neighbors waved at each other and life seemed simple, lived 5-year-old Mia McGinnis. A little girl with big dreams, a bright smile, and a childhood that should have been filled with love and safety. To the outside world, Mia had a family, a father, John C. McGinnis, and his partner, Shannon. They had full custody of her, a home, and a seemingly normal life. But behind those walls, behind the closed doors, the reality was far from perfect. Mia was just 5 years old, too young to know that the people she trusted the most were the same ones who would betray her in the most unthinkable way. June 15th, 2019 was just another hot summer day in Georgia. The sun blazed overhead, temperatures soaring past 100 degrees. And that was the day Mia's fate was sealed. The decision was made. A choice that could have been undone at any moment, but never was. Mia was left alone. In the back seat of a car, the doors locked. The windows rolled up. No water, no way out. Just the suffocating heat and time running out. She waited, she cried, she gasped for air. But the world outside carried on, unaware that a little girl's life was slipping away. By the time they found her, it was too late. At first, it seemed like a tragic accident, a mistake, a moment of forgetfulness that turned deadly. But as investigators started asking questions, the story didn't add up.
911, what's your emergency?
My daughter, she's not breathing. We just found her in the car. She's not moving. Oh my God, please hurry. Pull.
Mia McGinnis arrived at the hospital unresponsive. The emergency team did everything they could, but she never woke up. The official cause of death, heat stroke, a 5-year-old child left inside a car for hours in temperatures exceeding 120 degrees. At first, authorities assumed the worst, a tragic accident, another heartbreaking case of forgetfulness with irreversible consequences. Because as investigators looked closer, the details weren't adding up. Something about their reaction felt wrong.
Walk me through it again, from the beginning.
Their stories were vague, inconsistent, rehearsed, and then there was the timeline. Where were John and Shannon during the hours Mia was trapped in that car? And why did no one call for help? Until it was too late? Mia was dying just feet away from them. And yet, they never checked. Never checked. The breaking point came when detectives found something even more chilling. Shannon's search history. This wasn't forgetfulness. This was something else entirely. The moment of suspicion was over. The investigation had just begun. John and Shannon sat across from investigators, their hands folded, their faces unreadable. The questions started simple, but the answers, they were anything but.
Walk us through the last time you saw Mia.
John hesitated. His story wavered. First, he said he last saw Mia at breakfast. Then it was noon. Shannon claimed she thought Mia was napping in her room. But there was one problem. Mia had never left that car, and they hadn't checked once. Why didn't they check on her? Why wasn't there a single moment of panic until the 911 call? And why did Shannon's phone records tell a completely different story? While Mia was trapped, Shannon was on her phone, texting, browsing, laughing at memes. And then something chilling. That search was made. the day before Mia died. To end, it was no longer just suspicion. It was premeditation. Investigators examined the vehicle. The back seat told a grim story. Faint scratches on the door panel, small fingerprints smeared against the window, signs that Mia had tried to get out. And then they found something unexpected. Audio captured from the car's security system. A faint voice, weak, muffled, a child's voice. A 5-year-old calling for help that never came.
If this was an accident, why didn't either of you try to save her?
The truth, Mia was gone long before that 911 call was made. The case was unraveling. But one question remained. Was this cold-blooded murder, or something even darker? For weeks, investigators built their case. The evidence pointed in one direction: neglect, recklessness, maybe even intent. But then, a discovery changed everything. They had already combed through the car. But one detail had gone unnoticed. A partial fingerprint, small, faint, barely visible, on the inside of the backseat door. It wasn't Mia's. The fingerprint belonged to Shannon. Investigators had assumed the doors had been locked the entire time, that Mia had no way out. But the evidence suggested something more chilling. Took care of what?
Tell me exactly what happened that afternoon.
For hours, she denied everything. Then, just when it seemed like she would never talk, she cracked.
It wasn't supposed to happen like that.
Shannon confessed, but what she revealed next turned the entire case upside down. According to Shannon, Mia hadn't been forgotten in the car. She had been put there, intentionally. Shannon claimed John was the mastermind, that he had told her what to do, that Mia was a problem.
You expect us to believe John planned this?
Shannon nods, but there's a problem. John had an alibi, one that checked out. Tense silence. A new suspect emerges. Someone investigators hadn't considered before. Because Shannon wasn't just following orders, she was leading the crime. She thought blaming John would save her. But in the end, the truth spoke louder than her lies. A prison door slams shut. What really happened that day? And was justice truly served? The final verdict was still to come. The jury had spent days deliberating. The weight of Mia McGinnis's death rested in their hands. And now, the world was about to hear their decision.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
In the case of the state versus Shannon McGinnis on the charge of murder in the first degree, how does the jury find the defendant?
Guilty. A collective gasp. The words land like a hammer. The weight of the truth undeniable. Shannon McGinnis showed no reaction, no tears, no remorse, just the blank stare of a woman who knew her life was over.
On the charge of second-degree murder, how do you find the defendant?
Another pause, another life about to be erased. Guilty. The room erupts, some with relief, others with anger, but there is no celebration. Because at the center of it all is a little girl who never got to grow up. For her role in Mia's death, Shannon McGinnis was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. John McGinnis, for his failure to act, for his silence, was given 20 years. The system had spoken. But for many, the punishment would never be enough. A 5-year-old girl who never had a chance, a child who trusted the wrong people, and the ones who should have protected her. Sent away, their lives now confined to concrete walls and steel bars. But justice doesn't erase loss. It doesn't bring back the innocent, and it doesn't answer the question that will haunt this case forever. Why? Why would they do this? Was it anger, neglect, or something even darker? Mia's story has ended. But the lessons, the warnings, they will never be forgotten. A single question fades in, bold and chilling. Was this justice, or just the beginning? Now, I want to hear from you. Was this a tragic case of negligence? Or do you believe there's something much darker at play? What? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because cases like this deserve to be discussed. And if you made it this far, I know you're different. You're not just here to watch. You're here because you seek the truth. A line of text fades in on screen. Type justice for Mia in the comments, so I know you're one of us. This is just one of many cases that need to be told. If you want more gripping true crime breakdowns, the ones that go beyond the headlines, beyond the surface, into the truth, make sure you subscribe right now and turn on notifications. Because trust me, the next case, it's even darker than this one. Don't miss it.